absolute chaos. Robert Saleh said, quote, that Wilson gives us our best chance to win. I can't really make sense of it. Now, for context, I just want to give you all the visual depiction of what has gone on with the New York Jets at the quarterback position. It has been up, it has been down. You have seen Zach, you have seen Rippon. You have seen Rippon, you have seen Boyle. You have seen Rodgers to start the season. Zach was a backup. Enter in Nick Boyle behind him. Now you got Trevor Siemian. He's in there. Next thing you know, you make Boyle the starter, you move Zach Wilson to third string. Now you move Zach Wilson to the first string and you move Rippon in off the practice squad from the Seattle Seahawks. It's chaos, James Jones. Chaos in New York. But do you feel bad for Zach Wilson amidst all of this chaos?
No, I do not feel bad for Zach Wilson. We are in a production-based business. Point blank, period. You have to produce so you can stay on the football field. If you don't, you get your butt out of there and you get benched. You always mention on this show, James Jones led the league in touchdowns 2012. James Jones also dropped a lot of footballs. And I used to come in there after I dropped some passes and you look at the game plan, I'm like, dang, 89 ain't even in there. Because 89 ain't playing well. At the end of the day, Zach Wilson is not playing well. If you're not playing well and you're not playing well consistently, we have to figure out something else to do. Obviously, now he's their best option, but he has not been playing well. So you cannot feel sorry for somebody who has not been playing well and get benched or lose their job, whatever it may be. It's all about production. It's all about what have you done for me lately. And lately, Zach Wilson has not been a good quarterback on the football field. So you can't feel sorry for him. If it was an injury like Aaron Rodgers, feel sorry for him, right? If the defense wasn't playing well and he was balling and they giving him all this and they benching him or something, you feel sorry for him. But this kid strictly has not been playing good football. So it's hard for me to feel sorry for him when you're in this business that we are in.
2-5, Zach Wilson. A lot of people have a lot to say about him. What do you have to say? Do you feel bad for the kid?
No, I don't feel bad for nobody in the NFL. No.
No.
Even when they get injured, they make a lot of money. It's a job, right? You asked me, do we feel bad for him because the way that he's been slotted as far as starter, backup. But when I think about this, he ain't giving back that guaranteed money. He was second overall.
Second overall.
What type of money he's making? You see what I'm saying? Like, so he ain't giving that money back. Yep. You know, I've been playing bad. We're weak. I'm not that good. Let me give you this paper back. No, he cashed some M's in the bank.
Yes, man.
So my thing is, and I don't really like, even Robert Saleh, I was just thinking about this when we had this topic. It's like, what could he do better? And when you losing and you close, they're not really getting smoked. It'd be close games they're in. You trying to find anything. All right, look, man.
100%.
Zach, he's our best way to win, but he's not playing well. All right, let's go to the backup. I know the backup weak, but maybe he might just find a way to just give us some miracles. Let's put him in it. So you trying to find all these different ways to win the game because your team is close. So I feel, coach, like it's like you're damn if you do, damn if you don't. Right? But I don't feel bad for the kid. No, he's in the NFL. He's making some good money. He's going to have an opportunity to play another time as a backup, not as a starter, but you still can create your career, right? A lot of backups play a long time. Tyrod Taylor, I played with him years ago, and he's still playing.
In the league.
So I don't feel bad for the kid. He's making money. Come on.
Yeah, I circled this for you, Shady. He already done made 30 M's.
Ooh. Swear to God. Yo, man, see this man. Feel bad for me. How he made 30 M's?
30 M's already.
I got no broken hands, broken finger. I didn't really earn my pay, but that's
30
crazy.
M's. 30 M's.
Look,
That's crazy.
I know it's a season for miracles, and I don't want to be blasphemous, but it would take God alone to make Tim Boyle work out there.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, he chose not to move it. You know what I mean? He chose not to lay his hands on the New York Jets, because if they're operating by hopes and wishes, and that seems to be what the plan is.
Tim we trust.
Well, that was a mistake. And look, I'm not a consultant, but I think 10 out of 10 people anywhere around the NFL, if you asked if Tim Boyle gives you a better chance to win than Zach Wilson, I think everyone to a man will probably say no. Not because Zach Wilson is good, but because that is your replacement. If I don't feel bad for Zach Wilson, then I don't feel bad for Robert Saleh. It's a results-driven business, right?
Yes.
Mike Tomlin is dealing with what right now?
Ooh, Mitchell Trubisky right now.
What was he dealing with before Mitchell Trubisky?
Kenny Pickett.
Okay. What are the Colts doing right now? Are they dealing with their starting quarterback? They're not. Let's go. Let's keep cooking. What are the Raiders doing right now?
Ooh, ain't no
what are the Raiders? What are the Browns doing right now?
Joe
What are the Browns doing? Who else did I write down? What are the Bengals Bengals doing right now? What's the Bengals? I don't know. What's his name? There we go. Vikings.
Bethard is the Jags.
Vikings. What are the Jags
Josh
doing?
Brown.
What are the Jags doing?
It's okay. Cersei's back up. Cersei's back
I'm
up.
saying there's like lots and lots.
I'm trying to keep up
lots
with you with the names.
backups. Like I know I'm missing some other teams. Please let me know. Feel free to tweet us at SpeakOnFS1. Let me know what other teams are out here making things happen with backup quarterbacks. So either you don't know how to staff your team or somebody doesn't.
Yeah.
Or I'm supposed to feel bad for you. So if I feel bad for Zach Wilson, I certainly feel bad for Robert Saleh. Or do we not feel bad for them because they get paid, they're professionals, and this isn't a results-driven business? What I don't like about the situation with Zach Wilson is, what do you expect from Zach Wilson at this point? What do you expect? If someone shows up to you every single day and smacks you in the face, you are going to learn to expect to get smacked in the face. And maybe, perhaps, you will learn.
Yeah, they've been smacking each other, though.
What are the expectations? That's what's irritating about the situation. Not just that there are other teams who are out here winning games with backup quarterbacks, who are out here having stable seasons with their backup quarterbacks. Maybe they're not Super Bowl contenders. Maybe their seasons aren't going as well as expected. But they didn't sit on their hands and say, hey, this guy that we benched, that we didn't believe in last year, that we replaced with another quarterback who is at the end of his career this offseason, is not going to come in and be able to do something he has never done before in his career. And then when he doesn't do it, we're going to replace him with guys who are not even NFL players, because they are going to get cut 2 weeks after we replace them. And we're just going to keep moving things around. I just don't know what the expectations are for this team. I truly don't know what I'm supposed to say about the Jets anymore. I just don't know what the plan is, and it's always getting passed because of bad luck. When is Robert Saleh responsible for anything? We're just like, no, it's not his fault. Like, it's not his fault Zach Wilson's there. It's not his fault Zach Wilson didn't develop into anything as a number 2 overall pick in his 3rd year, by the way, which no one else would get that grace, but that's fine. It's not his fault that he decided to have this as the roster for backup quarterbacks when all of these other teams managed to prepare backup quarterbacks in case of emergency. Just saying, like, it's just a lot. It's just like that is the excuse.
Hey, Robert Saleh, like you still, dog. She my homie, but you know what I mean. Put your bulletproof vest on, dog.
I'll put Robert Saleh at fault. I feel bad for Zach Wilson. I feel bad for that.
Even the way he's been playing?
He made, real quick, he made 30.
That is...
No, 30 million. I don't know if you knew that or not.
I mean, we're not crying tears. We're not lighting candles or anything.
Ain't no context. He making 30 million.
For context, you only made 3 your first 3 years, and you were an all-pro. Hard to do.
See what I'm saying?
Hard to do.
Come on,
you shouldn't feel bad. Shady McCoy shouldn't feel bad.
M's
Let Emmanuel Acho do the feeling bad. Let me do the feeling bad.
30 million is crazy, though.
Hold on before you go. You've seen a lot of people get cut. You've seen a lot of people get benched.
Yeah, I was
and
one.
all that. And they wasn't playing as bad as Zach Wilson is playing. So why are you feeling that bad for Zach Wilson?
I will be honest, and it might be my degree in sports psychology speaking. I will be honest. How long can a coach or a teacher tell you that you are dumb until you start to believe them? Robert Saleh and the Jets organizations have continued to tell Zach Wilson how bad he is. Now, in large part, it's because he started very bad. But how long, if somebody keeps telling you how sorry you are, eventually you're going to believe them. Now, a different experience I have that I know Shady, and I believe you, when you go from being a starter to 3rd string, you go from taking reps, not only with the ones, to now being a scout team for somebody else. So the last 2 weeks with the New York Jets organization, Zach Wilson has not been Zach Wilson. He has been Desmond Ridder, because he had to be the scout team for the Falcons, and he has been Tua Tagovailoa, because he had to play scout team for the Dolphins. So when you're the scout team quarterback trying to educate you all at home, they might say, hey, this week, Zach, when we're going to give you a cover 2 look, I need you to rip the whole shot. But Zach Wilson is Zach Wilson. He's not going to do that. Zach Wilson acting as Tua, he has to do that. So now Zach Wilson hasn't actually taken legitimized reps the last 2 weeks, but guess what? We made him the 3, and now we're making him the 1. So now, Zach, you better go out there and start, and you better play well, because nobody in the world realizes that the last 2 weeks you haven't been taking legit reps because you haven't been Zach Wilson. You've been Desmond Ridder, and you've been Tua. Zach Wilson has been told he's sorry. Now, in Shady, Joy, and James's defense and an agreement with all of them, he's not very good. But I believe that coaches are like teachers. And if every day you walk into your class and your teacher tells you you are dumb in so many words, you weren't going to get any smarter.
Hold on. So I'm not a teacher, and I'm not a student no more either.
But you're a father.
Right, I'm a father, but I also was a really, really great football player, right? So let's put it back to football. Let's go back to not the classroom, back to the field, right? So before I tell you you're dumb or you're not good and all that, I'm gonna let you play. Right? Sure. I'm gonna let you play. You know what? Here are the keys, take the card. So now that we see him play, one thing about football, the film never lies, right? I have a great game in my head. I watch that film, I played okay. I feel like I played terrible. Watch the film, I didn't play that bad. When you watch Zach Wilson play, not from TV, from the film room, right? I don't have to say a word. Push play, boom, bang. Let's chill and watch it. No popcorn, because it's not exciting. When you see the stuff that he's putting on tape, you telling yourself you're not that good.
Agreed.
So I can't knock your confidence because you see how you playing.
Agreed.
So I can keep saying you look good and you're a better player and you just in that in the third. But when you watch this stuff on tape, nobody sees that.
Can I say?
So how can I call you dumb and all that if you the one that just...
Because here in my mind, the great coaches, the great teachers, the great parents,
and the great leaders is the greatest.
In my
cannot
mind,
save this guy.
But in my mind, they can at least make him better. And I don't believe that the Jets are even making Zach Wilson the best version of himself. I remember Mike McDaniel, he said this when he got to Miami. He said he sat down with Tua because Tua did not believe in himself. And if y'all know anything about the dilemma that was going on with Brian Flores as a head coach of the Dolphins, it is eerily similar to the dilemma going on in New York. Mike McDaniel sat Tua down, and he said he showed Tua 200 highlight clips of himself. And he said, I believe in you. Now, Tua was not as bad as Zach Wilson, obviously, but I don't need Zach Wilson to be as good as Tua is. So all I'm saying is, in my mind, the great teachers, the great coaches, the great parents, the great leaders, the great anything, make the person as good as they can be. And I don't think Zach is as good as he can be.
Okay, so let's start from the beginning, because I'm with Shady. So the teacher from the beginning said, you very smart, here go 30 million. All right? Then you get into class and you do your first presentation. That's on the football field, right? And you don't know what the hell you're talking about. That's Zach Wilson. Like, man, we gave you all this time to prepare. We gave you 30 million. We gave you this time to prepare. You had a whole training camp. You had all this.
With the
you
ones.
weren't taking no scout team reps. You was with the ones. You didn't have to throw none of these whole shots. Throw the ball where you want to throw the ball. And for 3 years, we've seen this.
False.
False.
Here's what's false. By his second year, and we all talk about this, what happened his second year last year?
They benched him.
They benched him. But then they
Why?
said, but here's my thing. It's not the why, it's the how. And again, I'm not going to go too far into it, but there's a difference between just punishing an athlete and trying to help them improve. I would assume y'all know, and I would assume y'all do a great job of it. There's a difference between, hey, JJ, your sons, hey, man, I'm going to try to put y'all in timeout for the betterment of you, or I'm just angry. Last year with the Jets, Robert Saleh, it wasn't like, hey, you know what? Robert Saleh didn't know what he was doing. You know, we just going to put Zach Wilson on ice, give him a restart. Then you got dudes wearing Mike White shirts. Well, that's the only reason.
But hold on. So for his kid, he's going to try to do the best for his child, right?
Yes.
But the thing is, in football, it's 53 other players there.
That's it.
So if I'm trying to bring you along and I'm trying to baby you and I'm trying to show this love and all that, it's 52 other dudes like, yo, man, hey, he can't do it. What we doing? And another thing is that last year, the Jets was so close to getting to the playoffs. They had them games where they could have won, that he didn't win. So it's like, if I want you to be this guy so bad, and I'm trying to get you there, but the whole team sees that. They're like, Coach, we can't win with him, bro. We need to back up the play. We need somebody else, another answer. So even with the Mike White, that wasn't him. That was the players. And one thing about a coach, you got to respect all the players, not just one.
And what message is Robert Saleh sending to all them other players when he puts Tim Boyle on the field?
Got to try something else.
Yeah.
I volunteer as tribute. Like, cool. Could I get like a $1 million, like get the practice squad money? I don't understand. Like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Zach Wilson is not a good quarterback. We know that. Do you know who else knew that?
The defense.
The New York Football Jets when they benched him last year. So if you are going to, my thing is this: either he is or he isn't. And y'all decided he wasn't when you benched him last year, let that Mike White nonsense go on, and then replaced him with Aaron Rodgers. If I'm Zach, I'm like, it's not my fault, it's y'all's fault. I'm bad. I'm not good. You said I wasn't good last year. So when Aaron Rodgers goes down, and then you come out, Zach's our guy.
Got a W.
Zach's our guy. We know he can get it done. He gives us the best chance to win. Cool. Cool. When he doesn't, which we knew he wasn't going to because we watched him last year, Now you want to cry that it's Zach's fault. No, it's your fault because you were unprepared. There are other teams around the league. There are other teams around the league who are playing.
Let's talk about this team. Let's talk about the Jets.
Okay, so you just didn't try. You just didn't try.
I'm saying, my thing is, you got a point, right? They got a whole circus going on over there. But my thing is, like, if you the coach, right? If we put the Jets hat on you, boom, right? Taylor,
Coach
Jets.
Taylor, let's go.
What are you supposed to do? You go for a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Right.
That's all you need is a quarterback to win in this league.
Cool.
Right? Got a great defense. He gets hurt in 4 plays.
Terrible.
Four
Disaster.
plays, right?
Disaster. Zach got to go in and save the day.
So plan B, guys. Zach goes in.
Right.
Wins. He has 3 wins, right, on the streak.
Yeah.
Then we see the Zach that we all know. Losing games, fumbling, turnovers.
Cool, let's go.
Now what do we do? We stay there?
Let's go. No, let's not stay there. Let's not stay there. Let's do something. Let's do anything.
But they tried that.
No, Tim Boyle is not. Okay, I'm sorry. You're right. I got to pick my words more wisely. Let me calm down.
I'm just saying as a coach.
Let's not do anything because Tim Boyle is doing anything. What I'm saying is there are other examples around the league of teams. Forget Aaron Rodgers and his prestige, right? Let's just call him a starting quarterback, right? That you think you can win with.
Okay.
There are other teams. I gave a long list.
But the list you got, most of them dudes are backups.
Correct.
For that team.
Correct.
So this is the same thing with the Jets. The backups that played.
But the difference is none of these teams are circuses. I would argue the Raiders had their circus moment. They fired their coach, and now it's not a circus anymore. Yeah. So you can keep a stable organization. You can put the rest of the guys on the roster in a position to play at the highest level, and you can use the talent that you have to win games. We don't think much of a lot of the guys that are playing quarterback in these backup positions, but they're finding ways to win. And what I'm saying is that is the coach, because the rest of the roster for New York is a good roster. The defense is great. They have talent.
I'm with you. What I'm saying, most of the people you named on that list, those guys were backups in camp. They were backups, right? The dude gets hurt or the starter.
What was that?
And then they start, right? So my thing is, Zach was the backup.
Right.
All right. And when he got to play,
he was bad.
He was bad. So we can't just stay there.
No, don't do something. Go make a trade. Go get Taylor Heineke. Go try. Go make calls. Go be willing to move off of things. You're living in the moment anyway if you're the Jets. You got one more year with Aaron Rodgers, right? You're living for today. You are not living for 3 years from now. You're not living for 5 years from now.
It's easier said than done. Like going out.
Why is it so easy for these other teams?
To me, the simple part is the other teams both had better backups. I think they had better offensive minds, and the backups are playing better. Like, Tim Boyle was a bad college quarterback. Now, I know y'all don't care about college nor like college. Obviously, I have to do college every Saturday. Jake Browning, who stepped in and went 32 of 37 for the Cincinnati Bengals to beat the Jags, he was great in college. He took Washington to a college football playoff.
I'm just saying, he's on that. He's a backup like Zach. He's on that team. It's like he's playing decent, and the other dude's playing terrible.
But I'm saying you had a point in the season where you knew that Zach was still the same guy that he was last year. I continue to argue you knew who Zach was anyway. You just got arrogant about it because you got put in a bad position. Right. So once you have new information, make moves. You don't have to sit there. You can trade picks, later picks. There's third string quarterbacks that could be more stable. I'm talking about stability. There's no need for it to be a circus, which is what it is. Maybe you're not winning games, but it's not chaotic. And to me, as a player, that would irritate me to have to constantly be wondering who's playing quarterback this week. Do we even have any chance whatsoever? Has this guy gone out here and won games or had any kind of consistency in the NFL? We knew what Zach was, and you took a risk, and it failed. But to consistently blame someone who you already had all the information on, to me, is just crazy.
But that's why in the NFL, though, it's all about performance. We've seen dudes from the practice squad that you might not think is good come up and be starters and ball. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, you was a second overall pick. You were the backup to Aaron Rodgers. He got hurt. You should be better than this. We can't blame the way you're playing and how you throwing the ball on Salah. We're looking at a 7th rounder in Brock Purdy ball. And yes, it could be offense, the coordinator, but we're looking at him ball and play well. And we've seen practice players play well. I do got 2 sons. And if I tell them something twice, I ain't going to say it on TV, but I'll say how my mom used to raise me. And she say, boy, don't open that refrigerator again. The 3rd time, and I open it up, I'm getting whooped. right? So that means you going to the third string here. Ain't no more talking. We done seen you play for 3 years. You just got a spanking. You to the third string and don't say nothing else and don't even think about coming out of the room until we tell you. And they just told him, come out of the room.
You nod your head too aggressively, Shady.
On that.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.